Okay, so now it's time for part two of the Bahamianese challenge on the Equal Linguist channel. We're gonna be just seeing how well English speakers can understand Bahamianese. So I'm Chris, I'm from the Bahamas. And then next we have Laura from Brighton in England. Next we have Edith from Scotland. And then we have Austin from the States. All right, so in this monologue, just try to figure out where are we?
Oh yeah, I picked the right time to come out here. It's a holiday, but it ain't too jam up and the sun ain't spanking too bad. That's one big boat out there, eh? I can't see if that's a cruise or a mailboat or what. Sheesh, this was a little cold, eh? A little chilly. Just that I need to cool down and relax though.
Okay, one more time.
Oh yeah, I picked the right time to come out here. It's a holiday, but it ain't too jam up and the sun ain't spanking too bad. That's one big boat out there, eh? I can't see if that's a cruise or a mailboat or what. Sheesh, this was a little cold, eh? A little chilly. Just that I need to cool down and relax though.
All right, Edith, you want to start us off?
Yeah, so I think that the speaker's at the beach because I heard them say something about a boat, like that's a big boat, and they were trying to work out whether it was a cruise or a mail boat. I'm not really sure, that's what I heard. And then I think they maybe went in the water and they were saying it was cold and that was what they needed.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly what I got. Said, oh yeah, it's a good time to be outside right now. The one sentence I'm not too sure about is I heard like, it ain't too drama outside, dry. I'm not really sure. Probably just it's not an insane weather outside, so it's pretty good. The sun is good. And yeah, he was trying to figure out if this was, a mail boat or a cruise boat. And then the water was cold, but it was good for cooling down.
Okay, so
So what I got was I think it might be the summer period. So it's not just on the beach in general, but it's summer. The sun wasn't too swanking. And I think that means the sun wasn't like blisteringly hot. So it's a good time to go out. The guy sees a boat and doesn't know if it's a big cruise ship or just a small boat that does local errands, let's just say. And I thought it was a chilly breeze that suddenly rushed the person, not just like the cool sea. But honestly, I didn't get the word breeze. I'm not too sure where I heard that from or where I conjured that from in my mind. So could be anything really.
okay, cool. So yeah, we at the beach. Um, so the first line was I picked the right time to come out chill. It's a holiday, but it ain't too jam up. So usually on holidays, for some reason, like if it's like Easter or Independence Day, for some reason everybody decides to flock to the beach. Um, but this time it wasn't too jam up. Like it wasn't too much people there, and the sun ain't spanking too bad. So yeah, Laura, you were right. It's like the sun isn't like blisteringly hot, but it's not spanking on your skin like so it ain't too bad. Um so yeah, he trying to figure out if he see a cruise ship or the mail boat. The mail boat is like another big boat that carries cargo and mail.
Cargo ship.
You could also like go on the mail boat and like you can put your car in the mail boat and go to different islands in the Bahamas. Um, so it's kind of just like a multi-purpose like local boat kind of thing. Then who this water a little cold, a little chilly. So yeah, the water was kind of cold, but I mean, if it hot, that's exactly what you need to relax. Any questions about that
It's
one?
the second time I've missed jam up now, so I better just write that down and make sure I know what it means.
Add that to the vocab list.
Yeah, gotta add it there.
Okay. So this next one is a dialogue, and we're at an event. So basically, just try to figure out where we are.
Happy birthday, Chang. Thank you, thank you. I ain't seen you since God knows when. I swear. I've been right here though, everything cool. That's good, that's good. Child, anyway, I bring you one gift. Where am I supposed to put this? Oh, thank you. You could put it right there on the table by the cake.
Okay. Once more.
Happy birthday, Chang. Thank you, thank you. I ain't seen you since God knows when. I swear. I've been right here though, everything cool. That's good, that's good. Child, anyway, I bring you one gift. Where am I supposed to put this? Oh, thank you. You could put it right there on the table by the cake.
Okay. Lori, want to start us off?
Sure. So it's a birthday celebration. Somebody's saying happy birthday to the birthday boy or person. And they're saying thank you. It's been a while since I've seen you. Don't worry, I've been chill. I've got you a gift, but instead of with the T, it's just a GIF, which I thought was hilarious. And the person said, yeah, just put it right by the cake. And yeah, that's what I got. Also, something very interesting that I've noticed throughout things that we've been listening to, the word child in MLE English, we also have that word, and it's a way of saying like bro or mate. So that's quite interesting that this Creole has that as well. So that's a word that I already recognize.
Cool, cool. Anybody want to add anything else?
Yeah. So I think this is the first one where I at least understood every sentence, maybe not caught every word. The only difference I have is, they said, okay, I haven't seen you in God knows how long. But the guy responded, I've been right here, but, it's all cool. I don't think there's any amnesty here, but it's more of like just like banter at that point. That was the only difference that I got.
Yeah, it sounded at the beginning, the birthday sounded like born day. Is that like the day you're born? Is it called the born day instead of the birthday? Or is that just the pronunciation? Because I thought that was cool.
Uh-huh. I mean, usually people just say birthday,
Okay.
but some people like to be funny and say happy born day, like literally the day you was born. So I thought it'd be too easy if you just said birthday, but yeah, y'all basically got the gist of it. I ain't seen you since God knows when. Yeah, I swear, but I've been right here, everything cool. It's like I'm fine. Everything cool is like the basic part of the basic Bahamian greetings. You're like, what's going on? Oh, everything cool. But yeah, I bring you one gift. So yeah, I guess that's one of the things. Like in the Creole, we tend to drop a lot of letters if it's too much work to say or just not necessary. Um, but where am I supposed to put this? Or you could just put it right there on the table by the cake. But yeah, cool. This next one, try to figure out what these two people are feeling right now.
Boy, my belly biting, man. Glad it ain't only me. Where we going? Cause I ain't trying to cook right now. Real, cause I could take too long. We could go bamboo. No, but let's go barbecue. That could be way better. They could take long though. Not as long as bamboo, child. Man, let's go.
So this one might be a little tricky since in this one we mentioned like some local places. So maybe keep that in mind when you listen for the second time.
Boy, my belly biting, man. Glad it ain't only me. Where we going? Cause I ain't trying to cook right now. Real, cause I could take too long. We could go bamboo. No, but let's go Bobby King. That could be way better. They could take long though. Not as long as bamboo, child. Man, let's go.
Okay. Austin, want to start?
Yeah, I think that local comment helped a lot. I was hearing a few weird words there, but I think yeah, they were just starving. They were saying like, okay, I think I heard their belly was biting, which very very expressive way to say that you're hungry, and that they're not trying to cook. That's not they're gonna go out to eat, and so they start discussing where to go to. The other person says, let's go to the Bamboo, maybe a Chinese restaurant, maybe an Asian restaurant, maybe I'm hearing it completely wrong. And then they kind of bounce between Barbie King, which is a barbecue, I think, and these two restaurants. And eventually they end up deciding to go to, I believe, Barbie King because it would take less time and they're both starving.
Cool. Anything else y'all want to add?
I kind of thought that Barbie King was slang for Burger King, maybe. But then again, I don't know what kind of chain restaurants you might have on the Bahamas, so I wouldn't know. But I essentially got that gist as well that they couldn't really they were starving, but couldn't really be bothered to cook. And they were debating whether to go to this place called Bamboo, whether that's an Asian restaurant or not. I don't know. I just assumed it was like maybe like a vegan restaurant. I don't know. Or Burger King. And it might take long, but it's worth it more than the other place. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, y'all got the gist of it. These two people hungry, and yeah, if you're really hungry, your belly biting. It's like your stomach is eating itself out from the inside out. Um, but no, they ain't trying to cook right now because that could take too long. Um, and the first person suggests they go to Bamboo, which is Bamboo Shack. um, I wish I could say it's an Asian restaurant, but it it totally is not. They sell like chicken and fries or crock conch and fries or burgers and stuff like that. Um, but then the next person say, "Oh, let's go Barbie King," which essentially does similar food but tastes. Um, at least they think it tastes way better, and it's gonna take less time. So another person's just like, all right, let's go." And I think this one is our last one. Just try to figure out what they're feeling, what might make them feel this way, I guess.
Mother Kong, but it's so hot. I ain't glad I reached on for a bake outside. Let me turn on this fan, cause nobody. I know this current ain't off. It plug in? BPL, man. I thought that sound was the neighbor AC, but that's the generator.
Okay. One last time for good measure.
Mother Kong, but it's so hot. I ain't glad I reached on for a bake outside. Let me turn on this fan, cause nobody. I know this current ain't off. It plug in? BPL, man. I thought that sound was the neighbor AC, but that's the generator.
Okay. Laura, you wanna share your thoughts?
Sure, why not? So I love the mother of conch. I think I need to use that in my day-to-day vocabulary. That was fantastic. But I guess it's like a polite way to swear, saying like, "Oh, it's way too hot. I can't deal with this. I can't even go outside. I'm gonna try the fan. Oh my goodness, the fan doesn't work. Is it plugged in?" And then something about I thought that was the neighbour's AC going, but it's actually their generator. So maybe the neighbours stole their power with their generator. I'm not too sure what happened there, but up until that point, I sort of understood.
Cool. All right, Edith, you want to add anything?
The only other thing I heard was I know the current ain't off, which I'm guessing is like the electricity isn't off, which is cool because we would say, well, I would probably say power actually or electricity. So that was interesting. And then I also heard generator and AC. I didn't hear the neighbor part, but I was a bit lost at the end.
Mm.
Yeah, my guess with the generator part was that okay, I don't know. I was trying to decipher it. Maybe this man is an electrician and knows what he's talking about, but maybe the generator was not providing AC or DC or whatever they were looking for, something like that. There was one thing that I heard in there. It sounded like BP Oman or something. It happened right after the I know the current ain't off. Not really sure what that is. It just sounded like two letters and then a country. Like it didn't really make sense to me. But and I have to agree with Laura here that mother conch word is a very. I think I'm going to start using that because I think in our accent it sounds so much more effective. Just because it sounds so out of place that it probably add a little more spice into my vocabulary.
That's funny. That's jokey. But yeah, Mataconk Bay. Like how I was saying, Mutto is like short for Mutasek. Mataconk is just like another variation of that. And also Bay. Bay is just like a general. It's kind of just like it's a general term for a person, kind of just like, oh hey dude, hey guy, hey what's up. Anybody could be Bay. But you could just use it in general and you're not even talking about anybody. So Mataconk Bay, it's so hot. I glad I reach home before I bake outside because it's so hot. I feel like I in an oven. So now they reach inside. Now they reach inside and they trying to turn on their fan, and yeah, no, fanning on. And now they trying to figure out why this fanning on is the plug in. Because if the plug ain't in, I mean the current off, you ain't no power. And so they've realized that, there is no power, and they suck their teeth and say, BPL, man. BPL is the power company. And randomly, if it rains too hard, the wind blow in a funny direction, any reason, they might just cut off the power. And so when they say, man, I thought that sound was neighbor AC, but that's their generator. Like, usually if you have like a central air condition in your house, that makes a lot of noise. But a generator even makes a lot more noise. But they just thought it was so hot that the neighbor was running the AC. No, they was running the generator because there was no power.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, what a life, eh?
That's island life for you right there. Yeah, that was the last one.
So here we are. We just reached the end of the challenge. And yeah, it went so well. You guys understood so much. What are your impressions, Edith? Maybe let's start with you.
Yeah, so I think I sort of understood the general gist of most of them. But just like in the last episode, it was really interesting that something that can sound so familiar is actually quite difficult to comprehend. But yeah, a lot of the vocabulary, even if it wasn't things that I would say, it was sort of, you could work out, like the like belly biting thing. So I mean, it makes sense. It's a good metaphor. So yeah, it was really interesting. I really enjoyed this.
Is that the expression you would add to your vocabulary from now on?
Definitely.
Yes. Austin, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I have a lot of interactions with European English, and I thought maybe, some of the phrases would help carry over. But no, the Bahamian English is a totally different thing. It's awesome. I'm learning a lot of new ways to express things. Still can't get over the mother conch thing. It's great. But yeah, also that talk about the restaurants. I haven't eaten yet, so now I'm very hungry. But it was an awesome challenge. I'm super happy that I got to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm. And Laura?
I really liked it again, and it's good to know that if I ever did visit the Bahamas, I'd be able to understand 90% of what was going on. So yeah.
Yeah, and what about you, Chris? Did this challenge go as you expected, or did something surprise you?
I guess I didn't really. Well, I expected them to understand a lot, but at least I went to university in Canada, and a lot of people said, "Oh, as soon as you picked up the phone, like I could not understand a single thing you were saying anymore." And I don't know, it's just kind of fun to be able to bring part of my culture, like in the language, to people who also still speak English, but they're just like, what is happening? What is going on? So no, this is really fun.
Mm-hmm.